Good evening, I hope everyone's well today on this New Year's Eve. Thank you for watching, it is appreciated. If you find value in this video, consider liking and subscribing, it does help the channel out a lot. The Army and the British Armed Forces are the latest institution to be in revolt against the government. This adds to many other people and factions of the country that hate two-tier Keir, hate the Labour government, hate the Uni Party, which proves time and time again why reform is needed. This is the current situation. This is to add on top of the recent army betrayals of historic prosecutions of soldiers during the Troubles in Northern Ireland. Hundreds of migrant men move into barracks as fears raised over safety of British Army families. This is regarding channel migrants, illegals, dinghy divers. The government is looking to get them out of hotels. They're not looking to remove them. Oh no. The migrants being here is very much part of the plan. They're just looking to get better optics. Now at the moment, we've got migrants in barracks in Wethersfield and Napier barracks, and they're looking to go into Crowborough down south and Cameron barracks up in the Highlands of Scotland. There's already been protests down south and up north regarding this, and as with the migrant hotels, there is a safeguarding issue. This is the issue. Many people coming into the country do not have good intentions. We literally do not know who they are. They destroy their documents when they arrive, and they cannot be returned. Nobody is asking the pertinent question of why we're not reviewing our asylum policy, why we're not making it harder for people to claim asylum, which begs the question, why? If you wanted to stop this, you wouldn't increase the pull factors, you would decrease them. You would make it more difficult, cumbersome and hard to allow people to claim asylum in the UK if you actually wanted to tackle the problem. You would look at leaving the Refugee Convention with the UN. You would look at making the criteria for accepting migrants difficult. I've mentioned many times on this channel you would look to normalise and you'd look to harmonise our asylum laws with those on the continent. If somebody has already been rejected in a Western country such as France, Italy, Greece, America, Australia, Canada, whatnot, then that should be an automatic denial from us as well. If it's not good enough for them, it's not good enough for us. You could also do a Poland or Hungary and just not let any in at all. These are just my thoughts on that particular point, but it is a safeguarding issue. People don't want them in the army barracks, people don't want them there because of the danger to the women and children. Maybe this is why they're looking to do this, and they're looking to introduce a gap year scheme to give school college leavers a taste of Army, Royal Navy and RAF without a long-term commitment, and it's to be launched by the government in the new year. The course is aimed at under 25s but will be paid, but officials have yet to announce a salary. Are they expecting people to be leaving the army en masse? Is that why they're doing it? Are they doing it for that particular reason, to fill the shortage? At the moment, the army accommodation that families get, it is subsidised, fair enough, it's the least we can do. The accommodation isn't much cop, it really isn't. It's beaten down, it's old stock, it's worn, alright? This is the issue. The army and the RAF and the Navy are treated pretty shoddily by the British government and the Crown as it is. Are they expecting more and more people to leave? Are they expecting these service family accommodations that are going to become vacant so they can be migrants in them, so they're going to be interspersed with actual serving family? If it is, that is a betrayal. And it's no wonder the army's pissed. It's no wonder the army and the armed forces is up in arms about it, because I would be as well. If you think that's bad, the story doesn't end there. That's only a stopgap, because, as I've mentioned in previous videos last year, for which I was shot down by the lefty lovies when they've seen the videos and said I was wrong, they're going to be going into purpose-built council houses, alright? Council houses to be built for asylum seekers in a new scheme. 5 councils, Brighton and Hove, Hackney, Peterborough, Thanet and Powys have confirmed to the iPaper that they are keen to take part in the pilot, to give dinghy divers priority and brand new accommodation. So your women, your daughters, your sons, your nieces, your nephews, they've been waiting for years and years for housing, and there's not enough housing, and they're just going to be giving it to the new arrivals, the new British. Why would they do this? Because they don't see you as a priority simply because you're already in the country, you're already paying into the economy. They would rather give it to somebody new so they can add to GDP, not GDP per capita, we're all going to get poorer because of this, but the collective overall GDP of the country. And that's what they're actually focused on. So they can say the GDP goes up, regardless of whether the native population is having children. Their spreadsheet looks a bit bigger, but we're poorer and we have less resources for the native population. It's all part of the plan. And then you look into this here. I'll read part of the story now. Asylum seekers are to be housed in newly built council houses as part of the government's push to end the migrant use hotels, which people have been protesting about all over the country. Up to 200 local authorities are said to be keen to take up the scheme, with 5 councils, Labour-run Brighton and Hove, Hackney, Peterborough and Thanet, along with the Labour/Liberal Democrat-run Powys, have confirmed their interest according to the iPaper. The pilot scheme would see $100 million in additional funding for building the new properties for the refurbishment of old derelict buildings in order to house asylum seekers. Some council bosses have said to be keen on renationalising asylum accommodation rather than private contractors, such as, I think the one on the northwest that we deal with is, God, I can't even remember. Serco, that's who we deal with up here. They've been buying up council houses locally up in Runcorn, local privately owned council houses, and they've been paying above the odds, above market rate for these houses, and we keep on getting dinghy divers interspersed with council houses and families, and we've had many problems up in Runcorn with migrants allegedly, I can't prove it, I've heard second-hand accounts, of them lurking around primary schools and making a nuisance of themselves in public, and police repeatedly having to be called. This isn't isolated to my area, I believe it's happening all over the country. Then we'll continue with the story. The decision is expected to be met with fury by those who feel the extra money should be spent on social housing for the local residents. Completely agree. Look after your own first. First priority of the government should be looking after its own people. Last year, 1.33 million people were on the waiting list for social housing in England alone, the highest number since 2014. I would hazard a guess that proportionally it's going to be a similar story in Northern Ireland, Wales and Scotland as well. 20,560 social homes were lost in 2023-24 primarily through right-to-buy sales and demolitions, while England is expected to sell off 8 times as many council homes in 25-26 as were built in the previous year. In London, only about 5% of those on waiting lists have any chance of getting rehoused, according to a City Hall inquiry, including boroughs where the average wait of a family is up to 15 years. And yet, if you rock up on a boat with no documents, you break into the country, you get a free house. We already know from previous reports that 5 in 7 new houses built will be going to migrants, not native British. Then you look into this one here. What about the character of the people coming in? We already know that many of them don't have good intentions. We know this. We know this from the crime rates, from the countries where they're coming from. And we had another incident up in the northwest yesterday in, I believe it was Newton New Willows. Afghan migrants arrested after attacking 5 people with a crowbar in a hospital waiting room while demanding an appointment. Can't get an appointment? Well, resort to violence, that's what the Afghans think. Merseyside police scrambled to Newton Willows Hospital at noon. The victims are critically ill. And then Peter Lloyd says he has relatives who use the hospital. I'm not local to Newton Willows. It is up in my patch, but I'm Warrington Hospital, Wiston Hospital, but it's in the Paul Park, it's in the area. It's unacceptable. Nobody voted for this. Nobody wants this. And yet this is what's being served up by the Uni Party. I don't know this person personally. She's an American commentator. Her name is Sarah Gonzalez. But she hits the nail on the head regarding legal and illegal migrants. And the example that she uses is Somalis. Because in America, they've got this big fraud scandal going on with Somalis currently. I'm going to play this clip, but she hits the nail on the head, and I think many of you will agree.
But Sarah, there are some people who were born in Somalia that are good. Maybe there are a handful of good people. To that I would say, I don't care. It's not worth it. No one is entitled to just be in my country. I don't care that you might be able to point to a handful of people who really, really, really have good intentions when they come here. If the overwhelming majority of them come here and commit crime and commit fraud schemes and are tied to terror groups and rise to the level of Congresswoman and then still complain about how oppressed she is, Ilan, I don't care that you can point to a handful of good people. I don't care. You don't deserve to be here. You are not entitled to be in my country because you want to.
Completely agree, Sarah. Same goes for the people in Britain, the illegals, all the illegals that come here with an entitled attitude saying, well, I need this, I want this, gimme, 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 gimme. How about you sod off? How about that?
But Sarah...
Nobody wants them here. Alright, sorry, there are people that want them there, and I'll get to that now. The army don't want them near them. The people in Epping and near the migrant hotels don't want them anywhere near them. I don't want them on my council estate. I don't want them anywhere near me or my family. I really don't. The people that are coming in, because there is no vetting process, you don't know who they are. It's as simple as that. You don't know what their intentions are. This is not racist. I shouldn't have to state the obvious. This isn't racist. Alright? Somebody broke into your house tonight. Oh, they've just broken into your house. Oh, well, you've got a spare bedroom, haven't you? And? You're not having it and calling the police. Should be the same thing at the borders. Now, the lefty lovies, the liberals, your Judi Dench, your Kenneth Branaghs, your Emma Thompson, your Stephen Fry's, all of these people that pontificate on how wonderful, how noble, how great they are, the ones with their huge mansions and the gated communities, put them all in there. Just put them all with them. Every single one of them. They have the space, they have the money, they have the room. Problem solved. This is why I mentioned on a video earlier this week about, I call it homicidal empathy, not suicidal empathy, alright? The people that want the people, the illegals in the country, they never bear the brunt of the consequences. So it's not suicidal empathy, it's homicidal empathy. Any resources should be going to native people that are bought and paid into the system. It's about finances. Maybe, just maybe, if we weren't in the red financially, the 3 trillion deficits, and we were in the black, which we've not been since the restoration of the crown after the English Civil War, that's how long Britain and England have been in debt for, we can have a conversation about where the resources should go. Until then, Britain is full and Britain is skint. This, as always, is just my view. Your mileage may vary. This is optics management from the Labour government. That is all it is. I will link the videos that were mentioned last year, nearly a year ago, that migrants were going to be getting houses above native British. I'll link them at the end of this video. Now, if you like what I'm saying and you think I'm onto something, share the video. I appreciate your time. Have a happy new year, and I'll see you in the next video.